I just shot my first USPSA match, and I'm hooked. So I wanted to create this video to kind of document my journey from starting off, first USPSA match to however I end up. Hopefully it's, GM one day. That's the goal. To kind of share the things that I learn as I'm learning them, and also to share some of the more embarrassing mistakes that I make. Some of them are pretty bad, but I don't know. Hopefully you guys learn from them. So if that sounds interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. And before we get into it, we are giving away a free Warrior Poet Society Network shooting course in the shooting challenge giveaway. More details at the end of the video. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and watch my very first stage of my very first USPSA match. Let's check it out. Reload. So not bad. Let's go over some of the numbers real quick. That stage was called Neighbors Ruin Everything. And I had 28 alphas, 4 Charlies. Yeah, and the time was 32.34 seconds. So pretty happy with those numbers. One of the things that I was super happy that I did, I made sure to squad with higher classification shooters. So I had a lot of better shooters there, and I think what's good about that is you can kind of steal like stage planning from them. You can look at what they do, and one of the things that I'm gonna run it back, one of the things that they did, and I'll kind of run this back, was right here. After this shot, there's this huge space right here where I was running towards to the next target. And I remember the GMs, the higher class people, that's when they would do a reload. Now, for me, since this was my first stage, first USPSA match, my goal was really to just not DQ. And the problem with this run right here is that because I'm right-handed, I'm a right-handed shooter, and I'm running from right to left, if I were to reload here, the probability of me breaking the 180 was super high. And so because I knew that, I basically just didn't even think about trying to do speed reloads. I know that's something that I need to be working on, but as of right now, goal is to just not disqualify. So I'm super happy just to run that and not even try to bother reloading. So here's a super embarrassing thing that I did. I accidentally put a white pasty on a brown target and got super berated after that. And probably rightly so. I didn't want to mess up anybody's doing that stage. So just use the right color pasties for the right color target. Put the browns on the browns, the whites on the whites, and the blacks on the blacks, and should be good. So don't do that mistake like I did. Okay, so second stage, this one was called Madness. This one was the classifier, which funny enough is probably the stage that I did the worst at, but let's just watch it. Okay, so pretty quick. It was one shot, reload, and then one shot on each of the targets again. And my score for that was 8 alphas, 5 Charlies, 1 Mike, and then 1 no shoot. Time was 14.05 seconds. So the thing that I gathered basically from this stage was that I really needed to not only judge distance, but also like the difficulty of the shot, and then adjusting how long I take to shoot. If you watch that video again, I'm kind of doing like the same kind of cadence for each of the shots. And I think the reason why for me this one was difficult to kind of judge is because they're all at the same distance. You know, if a target was closer, like I could tell that I could shoot faster, and then if a target was further, I knew I needed to take more time. Since they were all the same distance, I kind of just shot at the same cadence, and I think I should have taken basically more time for all of them, but then even more time on those center ones. Key takeaway for me is to basically get better at judging distances and then the difficulty of the target and taking the right time to prep and shoot for those. All right, third stage is called The Clothes Don't Make the Man. And okay, so my goal for this USPSA match, I told you, was to not DQ. Now, I didn't get called for a DQ, but after rewatching this video multiple times, I'm pretty sure should have been DQ'd. Let's watch the video and then you can tell me if you find it before I say it. So let's go ahead and watch it. Bye. Missing that steal. Cool. Okay, so I don't know if you caught the DQ. I'm going to rewind it to the part right here. I'm pretty sure on this reload, I broke the 180 right there. Yeah, I don't know. I was pretty close, but let's go over the numbers real quick. That was 20 alphas, 8 charlies, 1 delta. Time is 34.90 seconds. So I'm super happy with the hits. I'm just pretty sure that I DQ'd on this reload right here. I could solve that issue multiple ways. I could just stage plan better and do a speed reload. I think in the future, that's definitely where I want to go. But as of right now, to me, that's kind of like covering the issue with a band-aid, because at some point there might be times in where I might have to make up more makeup shots and I have to do an emergency reload. So the way that I think I want to solve this issue is to, when I have to do an emergency reload, I'm just going to square up to the back of the berm. So if I'm facing this way and I come up empty, boom, pop, 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 and then engaging again. I know it's going to cost me more time. Right now, I'm just really not worried about the time aspect as much as making sure that I'm being safe and not DQing. So over here, doesn't matter if I'm over here, I'm going to square up to the back of the berm, boom, 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 and then re-engage. I think if I get that, then no matter what happens in the future, if I have to do an emergency reload, it'll just be kind of automatic, and so I'm never worried about DQing with the breaking of the 180. Okay, so next stage is called Crash Test Dummies, and the way we have to set up is sitting down, hands on knees, gun on table, magazines on table. There's enough targets here and where you're gonna have to bring an extra magazine with you. There's gonna be some reload somewhere. So let's run through it and then I'll talk about it. Good reload. Pop. Cool. Okay, so let's go over the numbers real quick on that one. 15 alphas, 10 charlies, 1 delta. Time is 36.60 seconds. So pretty happy with that. No misses. I did, I think I had to make a couple of makeup shots especially on that last one, which was that was one of the cool things that I think that I was starting to learn is watching some of the other shooters is if you kind of threw one, they'll go ahead and make up the makeup shots since they're already kind of pointing to that target. And so I was slowly starting to pick up some of those kind of things from some of the upper classes. And those were one of the things that I did. And I think it proved out to be some some pretty good hits. So there's a few things on this stage that I want to talk about. Let's run it back here to the beginning. And this stage was crazy because there was some people who, depending on the gear that you have, they were kind of just, pocketing one of their magazines. For me, what I had was I had one of these magnets on my belt. And so that's what I did is I picked up one of the magazines, threw it here on this magnet, and then grabbed the other one and then loaded up. While we're on the topic of equipment, one of the other things that I saw some of the other shooters have is I had this huge case with like holding all of my gear, and then the ammo, it gets really heavy. These people, they've been shooting a while, going to these USPSA matches, super smart. They had rollies. They had just like a cart dragging their stuff around. I think I'm probably going to get one of those because it was kind of hard lugging all my stuff around. Something I learned. So you guys should think about getting one of those. Okay, so back to the stage. One of the things that I want to improve, if you notice right here, as I'm approaching this target, shoot, this one right here is really quick, but right here, that is, to me, those targets are so close that I shouldn't be taking that much time to shoot. And the reason why I didn't shoot faster was because I lost my red dot. And so one of the things that I want to train is to get better at indexing in multiple different positions. Usually at home when I dry fire, I'm just practicing standing, punching out, and I usually see the red dot. To better incorporate this training and to make sure that my index is better, I'll be kind of stepping out and indexing, stepping out and punching out and make sure I see it. So those are the things that I'm going to be kind of adding to my training process to make sure that I get better at these shots, because I should not be taking that long. 2 seconds to shoot that. It's way too long. So other than that, pretty happy with the stage. Okay, so the last stage, which this isn't actually the last stage, but I forgot to record the actual last stage, so this is the last recording that I have. This one is called "You Want Fries with That?" And let's run it. Whoa. Oh, makeup shot right there. Another one. Yeah, makeup. So there was a lot of makeup shots there. But let's check it out. We got 19 alphas, 4 charlies, 1 delta, 1 no shoot. Time is 34.46 seconds. What's cool about this stage is that it's kind of like incorporating all of the kind of things that was trying to learn from some of the other shooters, how they shoot. As you can see, like I took more shots than I needed to. I was trying to make up some makeup shots because I knew they were a little off. Like this one for sure. Like I knew that I missed that one, but then I already started moving on to the next target. So you'll see I'll come back to it. Yeah, and then right here, I finally got comfortable to do a speed reload. And this is because I knew I was moving left to right. I had shot a few stages prior. I saw all of the other shooters take their time here and go ahead and just reload on the run. So I kind of felt more comfortable doing that. So pretty happy with that stage. Like I said, this was kind of like culminating to all the other things that I was learning from the other shooters with the previous stages. So I felt more comfortable. I felt more comfortable and knew when I felt like I needed to take a makeup shot. I did that speed reload right here on the run, which I was like pretty happy about. And yeah, overall, not bad. That was me shooting my first USPSA match. But what do you guys think? What was some of the lessons you learned from your first USPSA matches? And do you find these kind of breakdowns helpful? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and one more thing. Right now, we are giving away a free Warrior Poet Society Network shooting course for free in the Shooting Challenge giveaway. Super easy. All you gotta do is shoot at the range, measure your shot groups using our app, and submit them to the challenge. Every qualifying shot group is an entry to win, and we're doing a shooting challenge giveaway every single month. So every single month is a chance to turn your next range day into gear, prizes, and more. Click the link in the description to get started.